Good morning, good morning. I am so sorry, the phone was ringing. The spammers are starting early today, and so are we. Good morning, it's Diane from Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. Good morning, how are you? Let's do this collection. Let's run through this together because we have some exciting kickoff going on here. So we are kicking off our Coffee and Create collection. Always a Wooster 2-inch brush. You're definitely going to want your air dry clay. I'll show you why in just a minute. Classic Gold, our Resin Metals Classic Gold. Oyster we have already used. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see. The Miracle brushes, y'all, those are a must-have for your toolkit. Always. Thin mounts, you will need them for the stamping portion of the game. Salt wash mixing cups, you need those to mix your salt wash. A brayer for the stamps, again, we will need those. Seaside, we've used already. We might use it again. Resin Metals Pearl. Let's see what else we have. Trimmings 3. These are so out of order, but Trimmings 1. Seashells. Our Resin Metals Silver and Pewter. The Sea Sisters mold set, which I have right here. I have all of these. The trimmings, the seashells, the trimmings, the Sea Sisters, and the lock and key. You're gonna want to get all of these together. We've already used the Trompe l'oeil bleu. We have not used the Trompe l'oeil linen. We have not gotten to that one yet. We, of course, did our table in the countertop and backsplash paint by RTJ Finishes. We need to check on that because we used that table. And when I say we used that table, I mean we hosted a birthday party here on Saturday for Ellie. She turned 9 on Sunday. Happy birthday, Ellie, and thank you for coming to Two Girls Treasure to create llama mamas and babies for your birthday. But we used that table with no cover over it. These two tables had the butcher paper on them, but Ellie and her gang sat at the head of the table with the countertop paint, and we're gonna take a look at that if we have 5 spare minutes to see how it held up to 8 and 9-year-olds. Yeah, Sahara and Wheatfield, we will use those. Today we are featuring the Grisaille inlay. The Grisaille toile, look how beautiful. The Grisaille toile inlay. The paint inlays are a challenge. There are some things you need to know, some things you need to do. Stay up with the tutorial so you know what. Soft white glaze, because we always need a glaze, and this time the soft white glaze is going to do amazing things with this project. There is our trimmings 2, and that is currently the June Coffee and Create collection. Well, what does that mean to you? A couple of things. The Coffee and Create collection are all the products I'm going to use this month to create different pieces that I'm going to show you how to work with. But let me tell you what I did. Let me put my glasses on and refer to my notebook so I can tell you exactly what we're doing. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thank you so much. You can always hashtag the replay. Paula, good morning. I'm so glad to see you. Lisa, good morning. Hey, you're supposed to be here. Lisa, Come knock on the door and I'll let you in. When you click on the menu on the website, hey, you're supposed to be here too. Y'all are late for work. That's all there is to it. But when you're watching on the website, you can click the interactive mode right above my head, and this menu will drop down and it'll have all those products that I just showed you. So when you purchase in a bundle, you can get your products at a discount. Today we're going to use the Grisaille Inlay eye appointment. Okay, you're excused. You're excused. I forgot. But next week we're going to use all of these molds and our clay. So if you don't have these molds and you don't have any clay, you go ahead and get them ordered today. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know why I have 6 and I only have 7. 6 different pieces. All 3 of your trim moldings. I love you too, baby. Your seashells, because you're going to need seashells. Trimmings. Your Sea Sisters. This is on my list. That's right. Seashell Sea Sisters. Oh, I added one. Lock and Key. This is not part of the bundle, but we can make it. We can make it. But Lock and Key, this is up in the air. I'm not sure that I'm going to use this. Not sure that I'm not. We'll put this to the side. That's not part of the bundle deal. All 5 of these molds and your air dry clay. That is your pro bundle. That is your pro bundle. And you can buy all of these. Use the discount code Pro Bundle and you will get a 20% discount on all of these products. Go ahead and order them today so that you'll have them in your hands for next Tuesday. And even if you don't have a Lane cedar trunk to play with, you can still work a project along with us with all of these. And if you have a Lane cedar trunk, you can get it ready and then next week you can follow along. This is the Pro Bundle. Use the discount code Pro Bundle when you check out and you'll get 20% off all these. If you don't need all of these or your budget doesn't allow for all of these, it's okay. We should all be on a budget right now. We should. But it's crafting supplies, so the budget goes right out the window. I'll just, be more careful about using my creamer or something. The hobby bundle, you pick any 2 of these, any 2, and your air dry clay. Use the coupon code hobby bundle and get 10% off. I'll post that link in the comments if you're watching on Facebook after the live. And if you're watching on, what's a budget? I know, right? We saved yesterday. We budgeted yesterday. We did do that. We did not go buy anything. But buy your hobby or your pro bundles for Coffee and Create for next week. Get your trunk or your box ready or a chest of drawers or a dresser and play along with us. Today, let's do Grisaille. I have not used this yet, but we're fixing to. We are fixing to fix it. If you were with me last month on the Rethunk Junk main page, we painted this Lane cedar trunk in a combination of midnight and copper. I blended the midnight and copper in equal parts and got this amazing bronzed greenish finish. Good morning, Becky. Good morning, Leanne. Yeah, I'm not giving up my creamer, but I would cut back, Leanne. I would cut back so I could buy craft supplies. You know I would. We're gonna turn this trunk into an amazing sunken treasure chest. I'm gonna grab a rolly cart because we need a rolly cart to put the camera on. Let me get the one that does not have anything on it. That right there is, that right there was lies, Leanne, because there was stuff on every cart over there. All right, I'm gonna unplug you. I'm gonna get right up in your business, and shoo, I'm gonna scoot you right over here. Look at the front of this trunk, y'all. It's so cool. All right, I hope I don't knock that over. We'll put it right there. Look how cool it is. It's just your standard 1962 Lane cedar trunk. It is cedar on the inside. It is. But this outside was veneer. I am not worried about having painted this because it's not an amazing antique piece, and it really needed something done with it. I kept wondering why this hole was right here at the bottom, and when I had it turned upside down, turns out there used to be a drawer there. The drawer slides are under here. There's no drawer. I haven't heard a thing by painting this trunk. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna mix up what we saved from our midnight and copper experiment. See? Just a little bronzy colored goodness. You want to stir it really well. When you let your paint sit for a little while, make sure you stir it. If you have it in a container like this, you really cannot shake it. It will go everywhere. Don't do that. Just stir it really well. If it has started to thicken up because you left it sitting, spritz it with a little bit of water, put about a teaspoon in and stir it really well, and it'll be okay. This is a water-based paint. You can do that. Once you stirred it really well, see, this is how frugal I'm gonna be for the next 6 months. I'm gonna take my paintbrush and I'm gonna salvage that paint off the stick. That's only because I don't wanna make a mess. Or I'm just being that frugal. Cheap. Say it. Go ahead, say it. Let's start on the top. Let's start right here on the top. You can't see it, can you? It's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put some copper paint down on the top. And it's funny because when it's wet, it has that coppery finish, and when it dries, it has this really amazing deep green metallic. Not bug green metallic, because we love that. Deep green metallic, but I'm coming to love this. When I thought about this entire project, and I looked up and thought about what a pirate trunk would be. Well, a pirate trunk is not always just kind of crusty and nasty looking. A pirate trunk actually is a trunk that they would have stolen from the aristocracy, from the rich people. And the rich people had fancy trunks. Fancy. I have all of these pages marked for where they're supposed to live. The grisaille is not easy to tell which side is which, so you have to look at it carefully, because you want to make sure when you lay this down, your grid lines are up, and there's our train, and your carrier sheet with the paint is what you lay in. The only reason I tell you this is because last week I made a mistake 2 weeks ago when I was doing the drum table. I laid a piece down upside down. How did I find out? When I spritzed it and rubbed it, I smeared the paint. Don't be like me. Don't do that. These are marked. This is the right hand upper, so that goes on this side. This is the left hand upper, so it goes on this side. Now, if I were doing just a solitary image, and I probably should really be careful doing this, but you know I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna lay this thing in. We're gonna go right here and we're gonna lay this one in, and it may not go all the way to the edges. I may not want it to, because we're gonna use those molds next week. I'm gonna grab my brayer. We're gonna use those molds next week, so we're gonna add molds to this. Now I know you can't really see the top, and I can move this other camera over and we can see better. Let me move this and let me jack it up just a little bit higher. There we go. And tip it. There we go. And there you go. Now you can see my mess behind it and my inlay on top of it. There we go. I'm just going to use the brayer, and I'm going to roll over the inlay. Remember, we did this on the drum table. It really is important, because what we're doing is we're laying a carrier sheet of paint into paint, and as it dries, it will absorb the carrier sheet paint down into itself, and when we peel it back off, this image will be on our surface. I don't want this to look perfect, because I want this to look like an aged trunk. Now we're gonna spritz it. I love this process. It's not foolproof. It's not 100%. I have not conquered it yet. But the only way to really learn and conquer the challenges of a product are to continue to use it. Is it expensive to experiment? Of course it is. How many times have you baked a cake and it didn't come out right? Be honest. Or sewed something and it didn't come out right? Be honest. Everything's an experiment when you're crafting, and nothing is going to come out 100% perfect. And why would you want it to? If it was 100% perfect, it would be in a store. It would not be on the workbench. Am I right? I think so. Let's take another sheet. This one should go right beside it. Grid lines up. Let's add some more paint. We'll just add as we go. We'll just add as we go. And we'll line these sheets up right next to each other. A good coat of paint. Not real heavy. Bless you, baby. Not real heavy, but enough. But enough. Okay? There we go. And I don't really need it to be nice and smooth like I always say I want it, because this is going to be a very aged, sunken treasure chest. Let's see if I can line this up. This says it's supposed to be left 2, and I'm on the left. This doesn't match. This is not the right one, y'all. This is not the right one. Let's not put it there, because that is not the right sheet. Part of the challenge of this was that it didn't line up perfectly. I think this is the one, but those leaves don't go there, so that's definitely not the one. Flip it over. I think this could go. We're missing a rose. Huh, I think it goes like this. Let's go with it anyway. Who's gonna know? They'll never know. They won't know. They'll know. It's okay. We're gonna put that little squirrel critter right there. And I did mark these sheets. I did mark these sheets according to the graph that we were given to use them. It's okay. It's not going to be a perfectly structured element. So not structuring it perfectly might work to our advantage here. Because remember, the pirates stole from the rich people, and the rich people had beautiful, artistically finished pieces. But this trunk will be aged and appear to have been sunk or buried. So our imagery is not going to be exact. Not on this one. Now on the drum table, we wanted that thing perfect. This is not right. We can compensate for it. It is perfectly okay. But how many of you want to see this beautiful parrot on here? Me, I do. I want to see the parrot on there. Oh, wrong side up, right, Miss Judy? Because it is very difficult to see which side are the grid lines. This is the grid line side. This should be side up. This should be side down. You can still see the grid lines, but they're very faint. That means this is the side that has the carrier paint on it. So we're going to go with this. And if we put this on, we can go right here. We'll just blend everything together. It'll be okay. And then we're going to use our trim molds. So we're going to put straps on here. I have this whole thing mapped out in my head. I hope it turns out the way I envision it. When you're doing your projects and you envision what you want it to look like when you're done, do you get there? Does it finish the way you started? I can't tell you how many times my projects went in sort of a different direction, and how many times they really turned out better than I expected. And you know what? I love that I can just keep trying. Don't be scared. You're not buying these because they're worth millions of dollars. You're buying these because you love the craft. You love the time that you get to spend doing it. And we're not perfect. And it's okay not to be. It's okay. I didn't get enough paint over on this side, so I'm going to peel that back just a little bit. There goes that perfection thing I think I have. There we go. I really don't. I don't mind when things don't come out perfect. I kind of enjoy that it changes as I'm moving through. I enjoy that I have to challenge myself to be okay with it not being okay. That it's not going to be perfect. And doing these inlays has not only been a challenge to learn how to use them with Rethunk Junk paint, but myself. This is almost a study in your self-control. And it's never easy to admit or work through saying, I did not do this exact. It's more of a personal challenge than it actually is a product challenge. And you have to be honest with yourself as you're working through. And give yourself permission not to be right. That's all. And when you let go of the perfectionist, when you let go of needing everything to look 110%, I think you'll find that you'll do a better job. I think you'll find that you will enjoy the process so much more. And I think you'll find that you're your worst critic when it all comes down to it. And that you really do an amazing job. And you should pat yourself on the back more often. All right. Now, we're not going to use the whole of this sheet either. So we're just going to lay this together. There we go. We'll just let it hang over. I'm not going to cut it because we'll reuse this sheet. Just roll it into the paint. The neat thing about using these with Refunk Junk paint is that it minimizes your time. You don't have to wait so long to remove your inlay because Refunk Junk paint has a lot of binder in it with that resin additive, and it really goes to work on your project and gets the job done. Put it on, roll it out, spritz it, tamp it, leave it alone. It's not a difficult process. It's actually very easy, very easy. And I'm gonna move my rolling chair so I don't knock anything over. I'm gonna disconnect this and get that out of the way. And I'm gonna cut the light off and I'm gonna move that camera. Hold on, let me take you for a ride. Just like this. And see all my supplies underneath the table? There we go. I love that just in a quick minute we can change where we are. Let's see. There we go. A little crooked. Tink. Sorry. It's like taking ocean voyage, isn't it? All right. Nope, wrong way. There we go. There we go. Mostly straight, mostly straight. Let's get in here. Let's get right in here. And we'll do our side panels as well. It's going to be challenging because I don't want to cut what we're working on. But all we've got to do to change the dynamic of where we're placing our inlays is make sure we're only placing our paint, right? We've got this. You ready? Good morning, Lynette. Oh, you're not late? Thank goodness for replay. I agree with you. I go back and watch sometimes to see what I did that I could have done better and to see how it went. Because while I'm doing this and I'm talking to you like you're right here. But I always have to go back and make sure that I gave you good explanations. Pardon me. I'm going to walk in front of the camera a couple of times doing this. I'll try not to block your view. There we go. All right, we've got paint. Let's get inlays. Let's get pieces in here. All right, and move the carrier sheet covers over. The carrier sheet covers are important too. So don't trash those. You're gonna want them. I don't think this is gonna be nearly as structured, but it's okay. Oh, I think this is gonna be great. Put it, let's roll it into that paint. If you get wrinkles, I have not conquered the wrinkle challenge yet. On this particular item, wrinkles are going to add to the character of the finished product, and I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be just fine. Now I'm going to I need a block of wood to hold that right there. And then we will spritz it. That really helps activate the paint on the carrier sheet. And it helps release, is what I have found. So there we go. Just a little spritz, a little tamp over. We've got those wrinkles going on. And we want wrinkles. We want wrinkles on here. That's what we want. We want wrinkles on the surface of our trunk. And let's see what else we have here. We have the little critter, we have the bird, we have the other bird. Let's get this other bird in. He's cute. He's so cute. Let's make sure we're putting this down the right way. We are. All right, let's get that bird in there. Let's bring him up. This will also be an exercise in those seams right there. Because I know some folks have been challenged about how to compensate for those seams. And it's not hard. You really have to just take a small brush and a little bit of water. And you just blend those seams together. And for this project, we have a lot of different options. We can blend those seams together. We can add a little bit of, I think we could do oyster, maybe a little bit of oyster blended with putty. We can use our moldings, our mold castings with clay and create panels. We have a lot of different options here. And on this side, I will use I'll use that. That'll hold that up. Got just a little strip right here, but I want to make sure I get this panel too. Can you see where I'm working? There you go. I have 3 inches right here, and then I have this panel. So what I'm gonna do, if I use this sheet, it's not gonna go where I want it. And let's see if I use this sheet. Oh yeah, I love it. We're gonna do a 2-for-1 right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put my paint inside this panel right here. All right. This already has paint on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure it's still wet. And we're gonna lay this in so that it covers that little strip and this panel at the same time. And we don't want to lay one over the top of the other. So there we go. Tink that right down in there. I'm gonna roll this real carefully. I'll do some fill-in right there. It's already down, so I'm not gonna pick it up. If I made a mistake where I laid it, I will compensate for it when I finish. I got the bird's head in, so I think that's fantastic. This kind of has the Caribbean look to it. I love it. And in our part of the world, that's where a lot of the pirates hung out, isn't it? Of course, there were the pirates of North Carolina in the Cape Fear Basin, right? Look at that. And the Dismal Swamp. I think it was most appropriately named. This is going to be the elegant steamer trunk that one of the wealthy ladies would have had stolen from her by some ratchet pirate. Let's get that end right there. And I think by the time we get that end, we will be almost, pardon me, almost done for the morning. And that'll give you time to order your Coffee and Create products for next week. If you don't already have them, the molds and the clay, and you can save on those when you bundle them up. Do I want the bird in there, or do I want to save the bird for the side panel? Do part of it, do all of it. Let's put him in there. Let's put him in there. Oh, I was fixing to make a mistake. Did you see that happen? Lightning fast, I fixed it. Woo, that was almost bad. I did not check myself when I started to lay this down, and my grid lines were facing the paint. What does that mean for me? It means I almost messed it up. And I would have known it time I spritzed it. I would have known that I made a mistake. And once you do that, you just have to stop and regroup and do it over. Watch those grid lines when you get ready to lay that down. Ooh, I am so glad I caught that quickly. Love that bird. I would have hated to have damaged him. Oh, and it would have damaged him. It would have damaged him. Beautiful. We are covered up here. Let's take a little peek up here on the top and see what we're working with. Let's move this back. Oh, this is already starting to dry. You know that thing I told you about how amazing it is to work with Rethunk Junk paint, because it works so much quicker with these inlays. Spritz it again, tamp it. You don't want to peel the paper and the paper be stuck. As it dries, the paper dries. As the paper dries, it pulls. As it pulls, it will tear. And we're getting a pretty good image. We really are. I could leave it longer. I might want to leave it longer, so I'm going to pull it back down. I have stretched my paper now, so I'm really going to have some wrinkles right there. We're going to leave it alone. Leave it just a little bit longer. It's not quite ready to let go. Gentle roll, because if you roll hard, you'll push the paint and it'll smear. And we don't want it to smear. Have you used the paint inlays yet? Are you scared too? Don't be scared. Don't be afraid at all. If you have not used them, just know that next month, I think the 24th of June is our Smalls on Saturday. You can bring something to the studio. I'm not sure that we'll have the studio open. Taylor's gonna have to come back to work, and we're gonna have to pick up where we left off yesterday, but I'm not quite sure we'll have the studio open. Even if we don't have the new studio open, we have room. Bring your small furniture, decor. You can do a gallery board. Paint, prep, paint, and personalize. And we'll do that on Smalls on Saturday, or you can sign up for the Design Workshop series. And just like I'm walking you through these steps, I did the trunk, prep, paint, and personalize. Now we're adding the inlay. Next week we'll add the molds, and we will have one session after that to complete this pirate treasure trunk. And we will do a verdigris finish. I love that word. I love the finish even more. Next month, you can join us in the studio to do your own design workshop series as well. 3 total workshops, 2 hours each, and you will go from prep, paint, personalize to design with the products that we're working with, and we will walk you through each step. We will walk you through the ups and downs of using the products, the challenges, as well as the excitement of success. Don't miss out on your opportunity to play and learn and have fun and fellowship with other people who love to craft and learn just like you. Oh, y'all are coming for Smalls on the 24th. I am so excited. I will look forward to having y'all. It will be a wonderful, wonderful start to your designing series. And Sarah is so super talented. I am thrilled to have her coming to our classes. I will try one more time to peel this top. Let's see what I can do. I'm going to pick the camera up so you can see it too. Ride with me. Here we go. I drive really well most of the time. Taylor says she trusts me. Oh, let's get you down here on the top of this trunk. There you go. Isn't she beautiful? And it looks like it's just all right there. But when you start peeling that layer back, and we don't want this perfect, and we're not going to get it perfect. Look, we do not have a perfect inlay. Let's leave that alone. It's so hard. And with Rethunk Junk Paint products, you really have to weigh your time. You really have to weigh your time that you leave it on, because the resin additive in our paint will bite hard once it's dry, and it may not. Well, I put the camera up there and didn't even let you see. I'm sorry. It didn't come out like I wanted. It's not ready yet, and I'm impatient. Right now is the time for me to have some patience. It is. I'm going to work on that. Meanwhile, don't forget these molds and clay. You've got to have the clay, air dry clay, Sea Sisters, trimmings. This is Trimmings 3. I love this set. Trimmings 3. This is Trimmings 1. This is Seashells. This is Trimmings 2. Nope, this is Trimmings 1. Just kidding. And I think I'm going to throw a lock and key in there because we've got a lane trunk lock that we need to accommodate for. We're going to punch this out. We're going to replace it. We'll do something different so that nobody gets locked in the trunk. We'll fix this. Plus, I don't have the key to it. I don't have the key. Bundle these up. Use the coupon code PROBUNDLE. Buy them all, get a 20% discount. Use the coupon code HOBBYBUNDLE and buy 2 molds, 1 pad of air dry clay, and get a 10% discount. Those discounts are good through the end of the month, by the way, so you can continue to create with us as we design this trunk, not just paint it, but completely design it. Artistic restoration, it's a real thing. I'm Diane Pruitt, and we are here at Two Girls Treasure in Florence, South Carolina. This is Coffee and Create. You can watch us live every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Facebook and YouTube. You can shop the collection while you watch on our website, twogirlstreasure.com. Cruise around in there for a little while and have some fun today. Grab those products, and we will see you again next Tuesday right here I'll do some follow-up photos. Next week we will add the accents in clay with molds. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful and a very blessed day.